Good late evening to everybody, all my friends as well as my enemies. I'd like to greet you with the peace and blessings of God. Today is November the 13th, 2015, the time being 6:34 p.m. Central Time or Charleston, Missouri time. This camera now is focused on a photo that was taken October the 29th, 2015 in front of the Mississippi County Courthouse, which is in Charleston, Missouri. These group of people here is 23 people. You can count for yourself. 23 people, 15 black, including the children's, and 8 whites. Remember, it's 5,947 people in this town. But this group here was formed by these dictators on here. They said it's called a Unified Coalition Against the Violence in Charleston, Missouri. Now remember the date. On this same date that they formed this group and they took this particular photo in front of this courthouse, a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court out of Jefferson City, Missouri, Patricia Breckenridge, had assigned a judge out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Gary A. Camp, that's K-A-M-P, to handle a case that Lester Gillespie, who's in this photo, and Suzanne Wesley has a ex parte granted against me by a judge that was their former lawyer, Judge S. Robert Barker, which shouldn't have never even handled the case at all. But they formed this after the judge made a decision to send another judge out of the jurisdiction here, which is the 33rd Circuit, and bring somebody in from the 32nd Circuit out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. So now they want to form something because they got a judge that's coming down that's going to hear the ex parte that should have never been granted against me for videoing all these same people in here that said that they're against violence. But yet this black sergeant on May the 19th, 2015, threatening my cameraman. I have to do my own videoing now. Threatened my cameraman, Bobby Whitney. Said if he gave me any more DVDs and I put them on YouTube, that he was going to lock me and him up and take my children's. Look at this newspaper. It's the Enterprise Carrier. It's from Tuesday, November the 3rd, 2015. Remember where it's from. Charleston, Missouri. Here's another newspaper dated Wednesday, November the 11th, on Veterans Day, 2015. It's called the Democrat Advertiser. It's from the Standard Democrat, I believe, out of Charleston, Missouri. It's dated Wednesday, November the 11th, 2015. This same group. But I want to tell you about this group. You see, this group, I want you to come up a little bit closer. Again, camera lady. Can you see, can this get in good?
Yes, sir.
You see what this say? In the Supreme Court of Missouri. You see what this says? The following jurisdictional personnel, the Honorable Gary A. Camp. He was assigned to this case, Lester Gillespie versus Raymond Ivey. They had to go all the way to Jefferson City to the Missouri Supreme Court because these people in that same group, they're dictators. And people are not used to, they're not used to people going against what they're doing. They're criminals. Now, the chief in this newspaper, he said no one should fear from being shot. On August the 29th, 2015, a little bit after 12 midnight, my house was shot in 5 times. I have 2 little daughters, a 9 and a 10-year-old daughter and an 87-year-old World War II veteran dad with dementia. When the police did finally arrive, the chief of police, the very one that said that no one should fear being shot, he sat in his SUV, his Tahoe, right in front of my house. Didn't get out. 2 other officers got out. They didn't find any bullets. Me and my daughters found it. But that same black sergeant that you see on there, he threatened my cameraman. All of these people on here, Lester Gillespie, he talk about my criminal background, but Lester Gillespie is a convicted felon by the FBI for giving drug addicts drugs and alcoholics alcohol to vote. How is he running these programs with children? But my point is, these people is trying to conspire against me. Anything that I do, they try to do something to intimidate me. I'm going to tell you, back in June of 2000, June the 25th, this same chief of police, Bobby Hearns, which was a lieutenant, him and one of his officers, Beth Acap, she's not here anymore, came into my house about a little bit after 2 in the morning, a.m. No warrant, no justifiable cause, took me down to the police station, told my car, never searched my car at all, got a probable cause, got me in court, and the chief never came. Look at my YouTube videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. Raymond Ivy YouTube videos. But then let's go further. Here it is when I laid here and went up against the school about letting a white bus driver do something to my then 5-year-old daughter in the school, Joy Rice, a white bus driver. Then all of a sudden the tax got to coming in on me there. They never did nothing to the bus driver. They let him get out of this state. But on this was February 2012. But in January 2013, all of a sudden they get an anonymous phone call saying that I'm doing something to my children because I took my children out of the school. They tried to take my children then, tried to intimidate my then 5- and 6-year-old children, saying, tell us what your daddy did to you and we'll get you to safety. My 6-year-old told this white woman, my daddy haven't did anything to us. Do you want to hear what that white bus driver did to my little sister? They didn't want to hear that. They left. The very next day, the same agency but another division came in and said that they want to investigate what the school bus driver in the school allowed to happen to my children back in February of 2012. But yet, they said they got an anonymous phone call. But yet, I called on February the 23rd of 2012, and told them who I was. But they told me that my claim didn't want them to bring an investigator. So that was 2 or 3 attacks so far. But now I'm going up against all these other people. In 2008, let me tell you what they did. They came in my house, that same black sergeant, held me at gunpoint, took my then 1- and 2-year-old children, and gave them to their drug addict mother. 70 days later, when I found them in Chicago, my then just turned 2-year-old arm had been broke. The police, their mother, the Children and Family Service, nobody paid for that. Nobody paid for the harm that was done to my daughter in the school or when they let him out. But now, here it is, Lester Gillespie, since I'm exposing him having all these drug addicts, drug dealers, and alcoholics work at the Lincoln School, the C.F. Bowen School, with him up under the Suzanne Wesley banner. Now they have an expose against me saying that I'm a threat to him, Lester Gillespie, his family, and all the Suzanne Wesley Learning Center employees. But when we went to court on October the 27th, 2015, Lester Gillespie was the only black from the Suzanne Wesley, and they had plenty of blacks, all whites. But then, look, somebody else tried to come in the courtroom that didn't have nothing to do with it. The pastor for Opportunity here in Charleston, Missouri, tried to come in there, but they put him out. These people is conspiring against me because I'm exercising my First and 14th Amendment right. The same way that they did in the Missouri, at the Mizzou University of Missouri. They stood their ground and they got the professor fired. These people are criminals, and on December the 4th, 2015, at that same Mississippi County Courthouse in Charleston, Missouri, when this expose is heard by an unbiased judge, I want everybody to know and to see just how crooked, just how corrupted these people is. These people is not for the community. Why wasn't anybody else invited to this thing? I want y'all to just pay close attention. Speak up, y'all that's having problems in them schools. Speak up, y'all having problems in that courthouse. Speak up if you have a problem with the police department. They use black people like Lester Gillespie to try to silence people like me. Lester Gillespie ain't on my level. Lester Gillespie is a coward hiding behind Suzanne Wesley. Same with them ministers in the NAACP that's in that picture. Peace, be still.